So everybody knows the Bend, what everybody calls the Bend logo or the Bend bug. Not everybody knows where that came from. In 1912, right after the railroad has arrived, a man named William Cheney comes to town, and his vision was to start a Chamber of Commerce style organization that would promote Bend. And so he did. He founded it with his own money. He created the Bend emblem and he named it the Bend Emblem Club. All of its members swore an oath that they would wear the emblem on their clothing, they would have it on their letterhead, they would put it out there in all their correspondence. They would have that emblem present every day until Bend reached a population of 100,000 people. They actually thought that they would get there by 1937. Why 1937, right? So what they were modeling our growth on was actually the city of Spokane, Washington. There's a lot of similarities between Eastern Washington and Eastern Oregon in terms of development, resettlement, economic development, and the big key to that was the railroad. So for Spokane, in 1891, the railroad lines were completed, and the population of Spokane was 4,000, just over 4,000 people. By 1910, Spokane was at 104,000 people. So that was their model. Okay, after the railroad got to Spokane and the economic power of Spokane was kind of unleashed into the American economy, that's what their population did. So the members of the Bend Emblem Club thought the same thing. Once we've gotten the railroad, which came in 1911, we're going to be able to unleash the economic power of Bend between the mills and the trees that are available, between the agricultural opportunities that they thought were possible. All of that was going to bring that same growth to Bend, and we would reach 100,000 by 1937. That was their forecast. Did we make it? No, we didn't make it by 1937. A couple of things got in the way. World War I, for example, that will slow down your economic growth in some respects, but it made the mills boom. But then the Great Depression happened. And then on top of that, a lot of the irrigation systems that they were hoping would make the desert bloom didn't happen. Some of them failed kind of spectacularly, like the Tumalo Reservoir project. So the dreams of agriculture didn't unfold the same way in Deschutes County that it did for Spokane, Washington. So those things combined made their forecasts not happen when they thought it would. They would be tickled to know that we have finally reached 100,000. That was their goal all along, was how do we make Bend the next great Western metropolis. So they would be happy that it has finally happened. But the thing that they wouldn't have anticipated is why it happened. What were the economic things that made it possible? They wouldn't have envisioned, obviously, breweries and brew pubs, and they wouldn't have envisioned just retirement and the idea that you had retirement communities and people who were moving here post-work and post their business life and their career. So those kinds of things. Telecommuting, having tech businesses that exist with employees working out of your home. Those are the things that they couldn't foresee being what finally gets us to that 100,000 place.
I agree to wear this emblem constantly, every day and upon every occasion, until Bend has a population of 100,000. I agree so to conduct my affairs that they shall never conflict with the best interests of Bend as a whole, and I promise to work together with the wearers of this emblem to build and sustain the reputation of Bend, its honor, dignity, cheerfulness, optimism, gaiety, activity, hospitality, and solid prosperity, and in doing so to traduce no other town or community.
The Emblem Club has this short, brief, great life. Lots of parties. They were equal parts Chamber of Commerce and kind of fraternity. They threw fantastic parties, and all of it was underwritten by William Cheney's fortune that he had made in oil before coming to Bend. He spent almost $200,000 supporting the Emblem Club and promoting Bend, creating pamphlets, books, mailers, all of the things, financing trips for business people to come down and see the town and try and get them to invest. And by about 1917, he's broke and has to go back to work, leaves Bend. His legacy sort of leaves with him. While everyone knows the emblem, they don't know his name. And so the Emblem Club folds when he leaves town. And most of its members, who are all the movers and shakers of town, morph into the Bend Commercial Club, which then is the precursor to today's Chamber of Commerce. And the emblem goes into the public domain at that point. And it's one of the #1 questions we actually get asked here at the Historical Society of who owns that, because I want to put it on my product. But the Bend emblem, as William Cheney designed it, moved into the public domain and has lived on now for over 100 years and in helping promote Bend and all of its businesses.